It really has not been the easiest year for growing pumpkins. I will be the first to admit that. Firstly, I planted too late. I had my little idea that I was going to plant late and I was going to be good because then the pumpkin wouldn't rot. That was probably not a good idea. Now I'm far behind everyone else who's growing giant pumpkins that I've seen on YouTube. That's all right. Next, none of the seedlings really impressed me. They all either had a split stem, were growing the wrong way, or had something else wrong with them. So, even our main man, Geppetto, he had a split stem. He recovered from that and he's fine now, but they all had some issue or another. Next, look at the grass over here, outside of the patch. Dead and brown. Why is that? Central Connecticut, for some reason, is going through a crazy drought. We're getting little to no rain, and it's like 90+ degrees most of the time. As you can imagine, a giant plant does not like that. So, the soil is dust. I have to water it like crazy. I was putting a fan on the plant during the day, and I was asking my mom and my sister to come out and spray it down with ice water so that it wouldn't die of heat stroke. So, yeah, on top of that, I come out to film last week and I see a nasty little animal on it, the squash vine borer. And if that wasn't bad enough, right after that, I notice a big bite in the main vine, which is what did in a lot of the other plants. Luckily for Geppetto, it was only halfway through the main vine, so that's not enough to kill it. The plant kept growing perfectly fine, which I'm very thankful for. So, all of these things, these bad things happen. And I was really starting to get down on myself. I was thinking, man, I'm making these videos and there's a chance that we may not even get a pumpkin in the first place. How dumb am I gonna look? Well, despite all that, ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Nick's Big Pumpkin. Hi, the original plan was that I was just going to come out here and pollinate. It was supposed to be a happy video and a fun video, but of course, the second I get out here I notice two really bad things. The first one, I just want to vomit. I don't think it's the end of the plant, but it's really not good. Obviously something in the night came and bit halfway through the vine. It's only halfway bit through, so I don't think that that's the end of the main vine. I'm gonna let it keep going, but that's like a major handicap now. So obviously that's no good. And then the second thing that I noticed while I was lamenting the pumpkin vine bite, somewhere on here, it's gone now, but there was a pumpkin vine borer moth, which I'll put a picture up of. And those are really bad because they lay their larvae on the plant and it burrows in and eats all the tissue inside, and it can actually kill your plant pretty easily. So, two of the worst possible things that could happen just happened. I think we're fine for now though, as long as I get pesticide and I take really good care of that spot that got bit. But yeah, this was supposed to be a fun video because we're gonna pollinate. So we can still do that. It's just, I don't know, things are a little more unsure now. So come on over here. First we gotta grab a couple male flowers. Like that. Male flower doesn't have a big yellow ball at the bottom. Gotta shake the bees out first. Alright, so I got 2 of them. What we're gonna do is peel the petals off of them.
She loves me not.
And then we're gonna go over to our chosen female flower. Can't freaking believe it, okay? I was using protection over the vine with this. I put a little hole on either side so that I could put that over the main vine. And I was like, oh, I just won't do that tonight because I'm gonna pollinate tomorrow. I don't wanna like hurt the vine with it. Like, of course. All right, so I don't see a lot of pollen on these, but we'll still try them. And I'll try with more later too. So, where was one? We're gonna go down in here into the female flower, and we're just gonna move it around in there. And so there you go, folks. That's pumpkin sex, assisted pumpkin sex. So there's one suitor gone. He had his chance. Maybe he'll be the daddy. We'll see. Guy number 2 shows up. All right. There's 2. I'll probably try one. Oh, hey, we could do one off of headless.
Is that its name?
Oh, this is a female flower. This is headless. I'm gonna get stung by a bee. Really don't see any pollen on these male flowers, which I think the bees got to them. All right, so another issue is it's been 95 degrees the past week. Pumpkin plants don't really like extreme heat like that, and I think the pumpkin itself especially doesn't like it. So the germination or pollination rates are probably gonna be pretty low. So originally I was gonna say that's not an issue because we have another female flower forming just down the main vine, but now that we have a giant rodent tooth mark, at least I think it's a rodent, I'm not so sure about the viability of this guy or girl. So that's our first pollination. Hey, maybe we'll get one on a secondary vine or something, we'll see. Despite all that, ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Nick's Big Pumpkin. There it is. All right. Yeah, I understand. It's not that big. It's not a giant pumpkin yet, but you gotta give it time to grow, okay? So, come on down here. A couple things you're gonna notice about it. First of all, it has a big ugly scab on it. And the good news is, I was just using this pumpkin for the sake of the big fun reveal, okay? We actually have quite a few other candidates, and I'll show you some. So, right in here is the one that I personally like the most. He's growing in here in a nice little shaded spot. He doesn't have a big nasty scab on him. He's got a big thick stem. He was probably pollinated the same time as the other plant. And you're probably looking at these. I'm wondering what the hell these are. What these are garden staples with little cotton balls and peppermint oil put on them. I learned that peppermint oil, squirrels really, really hate it. So, in order to keep them from biting the little baby pumpkins, I've been putting these around the plant where I don't want the squirrels to go. Now, you may say, why don't you just spray the peppermint oil on the plant? The squirrels won't want to go anywhere near it. Well, if you come over here, This is what happens when you spray peppermint oil onto a pumpkin plant. So I'm having to be very sure not to get any of it onto the plant itself. So it literally just turns it to dust, so we have to avoid getting any of that on there. Oh yeah, and while we're over here, look at how huge Geppetto is. Pretty damn big now, probably 40% of the size of the patch. He's even got vines spilling out the side. But if you come over here and look at Headless, it was our backup plant. He is not doing as well because I haven't been giving him tons of water and fertilizer. And you know, if you look at the end of the main vine here of Geppetto, he's about to come up and hit Headless. So that means that it is time for Headless to go. And that also means one plant will remain. We're entering a very high variance portion of this journey where we have one plant and we're trying to grow one giant pumpkin. So that leaves a lot of room for things to go wrong. So it's time for Headless to go. Same scissors that did his brothers and sisters in. Now he's got a giant stump at this point. I don't know if I can even cut through it. Yeah, there we go. Jeez. All right, that's it. There's one hope left, and his name is Geppetto. Probably like 60 pounds worth of plant right there. Thank you very much, Headless. You did your job wonderfully, but there's one remaining. So, now we're in pumpkin mode. We were in plant mode, now we're in pumpkin mode. What changes? First of all, actually fertilization doesn't really change. We're still sticking with the kickapoo juice that's got a lot of phosphorus and potassium. Yeah, NPK, phosphorus and potassium, which are the two things that help roots and fruits grow, which is what we want at this point. Big roots to suck up the nutrients and water. Big fruit, obviously, it's Nick's big pumpkin. We want a giant pumpkin. So, those were pollinated 2 or 3 days ago. Just like the plant growth, this is gonna be exponential. It'll probably grow to about the size of a basketball in 4 or 5 days. And then after that, it's really gonna take off. So, I'm gonna show you real quick something up here. So, right over here, we have one of our prospects. The pumpkin is about to touch the ground, which we don't necessarily want. If it's touching the ground, there's a higher chance of rot happening or little insects getting to it and biting it. So we're gonna remove our squirrel repellent and we're gonna do this. This is just play sand from Home Depot. So what we want to do, put down a nice thin layer of the sand right below the pumpkin, because that has a very high level of drainage and it's inorganic, so it's much less likely to cause rot to happen. So in the other video, man, how depressed did I sound in that other video? Yeah, you don't have to film it. You don't have to film it. It's because I noticed that bite that day. Man, I was so upset. You could tell. I was really thinking that it was all over. So the pumpkin that I pollinated in that video was over here. You wouldn't even be able to notice it. It's not this one. And that one already got sand. You can see a big pile of sand over here. And that's basically what we're gonna be doing, yeah. That's where it got cut off because it had an issue with its stamen, some lady part of the plant, I don't know. So, doesn't have to be a ton. Also, as the pumpkin's growing, this is gonna help it slide along the ground instead of scraping along the ground. Get a nice amount, God. Hopefully I don't nick the pumpkin at all. Yeah, and for now, that will be okay. Oh, look over here. These are Nick's mini pumpkins. I got them potted up. They've sprouted nicely into little seedlings. Honestly, I have no idea if they're gonna turn into full-grown plants in time, but we'll see. They've at least got 2 more months to do what they gotta do. And we put down sand. We got rid of headless. Oh, here's something else I gotta show you. I'm armed, okay? I got 2 things here. All of this is going well seemingly now, but all it takes is one terrible thing to happen and it could all blow up. And these 2 things are to prevent that. First one, insecticidal super soap. Kind of an intense name. All it is something and then some bacteria. And the bacteria will infect the larvae of the vine borers that I was talking about, because those are the biggest pests. So this will protect the plant from that. I'm gonna spray every other week with this. And then I'll probably start putting this on soon, copper fungicide. The main thing this is meant to get rid of is powdery mildew, which usually comes later in the season, around August, which we're about to hit. It's July 31st for the record. So those 2 things are to prevent disaster, okay? Because we can do everything right, but all it takes is one thing to go wrong and, you know, disaster. So that's our pesticide. We were about to be done filming and I noticed something weird on one of the leaves, that it looked a little funky, and I went over and cut it. You can see this nasty little bastard chewing around in the leaves. That's a squash vine borer. That's very bad. So anything that looks like it has been bitten, it's getting cut off, amputated. Then I'm gonna spray it down with more pesticide to try to kill these, because if these really get going, we're in huge trouble. So hopefully next time you see the plant, it's not gonna be all wilted and nasty. It is what it is. Hey, it's Sunday. You know what that means. It's Kickapoo Joy Juice Day. And I was thinking while I'm putting this on the plant, you should listen to the Nick's Big Pumpkin rap song. It was written by Caden Mazada, and I think you'll really like it. So, please enjoy.
Boobs big like pumpkins.
Pumpkin patch, pumpkin patch, pumpkin patch, pumpkin patch. Porno stash 80s, getting all the ladies. This is Nick's garden. Pumpkins grow the